Hello, welcome home.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Welcome home to 2021.
Thank God.
2020 is over, kaput. As Lou said, hindsight is 2020 now.
It really is. Well, Happy New Year. Hello. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. I can't believe that it's over already. I'm a little bit sad about that. Before we get started, we have so much to talk to you about. As usual, if you would be so kind as to share this video with your Facebook friend, I would very, very much appreciate it.
Facebook friends, family, enemies, anybody you want to share it with, we are perfectly fine with that.
People you like, maybe people you don't. No, I'm kidding.
It might make them like you again.
Or make them unfriend you.
Or make them unfriend you. Either way, they make the decision. They cut you or you. So, want me to say my other spiel?
Go right ahead.
Hello, welcome to TMSM Weekly Live Show number 101 for, what day is it? January 4th, 2021. I'm Scott.
I'm Michelle.
And we have a heck of a show for you guys. It's been, what, 3 weeks?
3 weeks?
3 weeks?
Yeah, it's been a while.
First, I want to say happy birthday to my Team Scott cheerleader, Randy. Happy birthday, buddy. Hope you're having a great day.
Do you do you pay him to say nice things?
No, he just does it because he likes me.
He loves the whole Team Scott thing.
Checks in the mail, Randy.
The last time that we saw you guys, we had a guest on our show. We had Equity Ben from Frozen, and we talked a little bit about all the announcements from the, what was it called? The
Disney Plus announcements for all the shows and movies and such that are getting ready to come out in the next year.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called because it was a couple weeks ago.
Shareholders, it was the shareholders meeting that talked all about that, I believe.
Yeah, so I thought I wrote notes.
Oh, Becky's on. Hey, Becky.
Becky's on. Hey, Becky. I wrote notes so that we could try to stay focused, but it is our first show of the year, and you know how we go. And there's food on the list. So
just throw the notes. We don't need no notes. We'll do it live.
Okay.
No speaking notes.
Okay, so let's get to it since we have a lot to talk about, and we don't want to run over because that maybe you have TV shows you want to watch tonight,
or just get away from us.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so I thought we could talk a little bit about the Christmas season at Disney, being that it was so darn different this year.
Big time difference. So let's go back a few days before Christmas. Michelle and I's anniversary is actually on the 22nd of December. And when we were in Michigan, we always went away to a town called Frankenmuth. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that in Michigan. I know
it's a place that has the big Christmas store.
Big Christmas store, Bronner's, which is the biggest Christmas store, and they've actually worked with Disney many times in the past for ornaments and Christmas stuff, things like that. But normally every year on the 22nd, we go there because the day we got married, that's where we went. The two of us went there that day to have chicken dinner, which is a huge thing.
It's a thing there.
Frankenmuth, huge. And then go to the Christmas store. So we have our routine. Well, this year, the first time since we got married, we weren't able to do any part of that routine. So we decided, well, we're in Florida. Why not go to Disney? Go figure.
I mean, that sounds like a reasonable idea.
So we went to the Wilderness Lodge, which we had both wanted to experience staying there, and we had never done it. So we actually did that on the 22nd. I loved it. I loved staying there. That resort is probably the best for the Christmas holiday, I think, decorated-wise.
I think so, because they have the big Christmas tree in the lobby, and they have the fireplaces going, and they have garland up around with the lights, and it's very homey, I guess you could say.
It is, and it reminds me a lot about northern Michigan because of the roof and things
I would
like
say that. It was just different, and I think that we wanted something a little bit Christmassy because when you stay in Frankenmuth, Michigan, it's like Christmas town. All year round, but especially at Christmas time, they have so many decorations. The whole city is lit up for Christmas. And it's just, I think for us, being that we weren't home this year, it's kind of let's find something close to it, if that makes sense.
Right. And I mean, back home, they have, the snow is usually falling on the day. It's always very cold. You go to all the little shops. They have the fudge store and the cheese store. Saltwater taffy and all those things. The handsome cab rides going up and down the street. I mean, it's a fun place to go that we always look forward to every December going there. So next year, hopefully, we'll get to experience that if everything's back open by then in Michigan.
I sure hope so.
Who knows?
But anyway, the Wilderness Lodge. Let's go back to that. So the Wilderness Lodge was wonderful. Even though we didn't spend a whole lot of time at the lodge because we went to Magic Kingdom. And it was kind of cool out that day, like sweatshirt weather.
We had spirit jersey though, I think.
No, you had a spirit jersey on. I was wearing 2 shirts because I get cold.
I still had shorts on.
Oh, anyway.
I always wear shorts.
I wore boots because it was cold.
Shorts, tennis shoes, spirit jersey. I was ready for the season.
Anyway, so they still had like everything, everything was all Christmassy and nice. And we took the boat over from the Wilderness Lodge. And that was nice too. It was a lot quicker than taking the bus. They said the cast member up front said the bus would be about a half hour. Yeah. And I mean the ferry boat took you like right over there.
It's like a 6-minute boat ride. I mean they're moving them a lot faster, I think, right now. I think they're just to get people moving around. They're not because they can't fill the boat. So as soon as they get enough people in there, they take off. And we
never really had to wait much either.
No, not at all.
So we went over to Magic Kingdom and we had lunch at Tony's.
Yeah, we decided to do an early lunch rather than a late dinner because they were open until 7 that night, I believe.
No, they were open later.
Was it later? Maybe it was. But we ended up just doing a late lunch at Tony's, which was fantastic. We had gone there a few years back. And we both wanted to try it again, and it was much better from what I remember this time than it was the first time. It tasted good.
It was like the first time we had it a couple of years ago, and it was, it was okay. But I love Italian food. It's like my favorite. It's in my genes.
And we can't have fried chicken.
And we couldn't have our chicken dinner because of Michigan. But I had the chicken parmesan, and I haven't had this is a total sidebar. So I've been dieting. And I told myself, since I couldn't go home at Christmas, that I was going to allow myself like a 2-week cheat window. So this was like my first, instead of a cheat day, I had a cheat window. Do you guys ever have a cheat window? It can't just be me.
It's usually from like 4 to 6, not 2 weeks.
Oh, come on. Somebody back me on this. Do you have a cheat window?
When I get up in the middle of the night and I'm hungry, I just grab whatever I want.
I'm waiting for somebody to agree with me here.
Not.
All right, anyway. So that was like my first meal, my first cheat meal that I had since September.
She smiled so big.
So that could be why I thought Tony's was so fabulous. But I had that chicken parm, and it came with a side of spaghetti, and they put bread on the table. And we were gonna have tiramisu, but we were too full. But
I had pizza because I get pizza. If they offer pizza, that's what I always go.
Okay, Becky agrees with me. You cannot diet during Christmas. Robert Carlson, his whole life is a cheat window. Thank you, because
that's a lifestyle. That's not a cheat window. That's a lifestyle.
That's a lifestyle. Oh my God.
Sean's been cheating. Sean, you weigh like 30 pounds. What?
Okay,
Melissa had to cheat for 3 years.
3 years. Thank
Jody's
you.
cheat or a thing in her life.
Thank you. It's not just me. All right. So, you've got to get through things however you need to.
Hashtag cheat window.
Hashtag cheat window.
Those shirts will be available tomorrow on
So, yeah, that first cheat meal was great, and then it was downhill.
Once you go out that window, you don't need to get back.
Once you open that cheat window up, man, oh my God.
However, if you go through that window too quickly, you might not get through as fast. Because if you're out that window for 2 weeks, there's no telling.
And I thought I would feel guilty about it, but I didn't. I mean, I have a little bit. So we'll get some more food soon. So we went to
Corey never cheats.
Bye.
We'll talk about that later, Mr. Gideon.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So Magic Kingdom it was more crowded the day we were there for our anniversary than after Christmas, which is weird, but we're going to bookmark that one too. Okay, so we went to Tony's, we walked around, why are you laughing at me?
Because where did we stop right before we left to go back to the resort?
The confection room.
We stocked up.
All right, anyway, so we took the monorail. We were waiting for it to get dark out because I wanted to see the Christmas lights. And is that the only reason? Was that what I wanted?
I want to see the Christmas lights. You want to see the little fireworks that go off when they show the projections on the castle.
Okay, yeah. So what we did.
And you wanted pictures on Main Street at dark.
I did. I take the same pictures over and over again, and
we could just green screen them and make it fun.
It's the same picture. Okay, so anyway, so we decided to waste some time and what?
Robert, I'd be embarrassed if I died and an autopsy showed nothing but veggies in my stomach.
cheat window. So we took the monorail over. You cannot take the monorail to the Poly right now because they're under construction.
Right.
So we took the resort monorail around the loop just to go see the tree at the Grand Floridian.
And go to Basin.
And we did go to Basin. But I will tell you the truth. They did not do the gingerbread display at the Floridian this year. And it really was noticeable. I mean, the tree was beautiful, but it just seemed so quiet, and it didn't smell like gingerbread. Of course, they could have piped that into the.
They can pipe in any smell anywhere else, not there.
But it was very different. It was just different and quiet, and that's the only thing that made me a little bit sad. It just didn't feel like Disney Christmas there.
No, it didn't. Not at all.
I think when you're used to how things are normally, and then when you see something so contrary to what it's usually like, it's different.
And it's funny because you only think about that once a year. I mean, the Christmas time feeling is only that one time a year. We don't go to the Floridian maybe once at Christmas time, but to go in there at Christmas and not have that, you really notice it.
I really thought they could have piped in some cookies now.
Christmas music would have been nice. They did have a piano player.
They did have a piano player. Was he playing Christmas music?
I don't know if he was or not. No, you said that, I'm not sure.
I don't know. So anyway, so we sat over there a little bit. Like I said, it was getting chilly out. And we were waiting for it to get dark to go back to the Magic Kingdom.
We were actually going to take the walkway back from the Floridian to the Magic Kingdom, but we just decided to jump on the boat. But that walkway is open if you haven't done that yet. So you can actually take the walkway from the Magic Kingdom to the Floridian and back.
We couldn't find it. See, we were going to walk back, and then we started going. There was a sign.
We went the wrong way.
It said to the boat and the walkway. Well, it didn't. The sign said go that way, and it never told you where to turn. So we ended up back on the boat.
Which was fine.
Yeah, it was a little chilly.
It was starting to get chilly, so we wanted to get back.
Yeah. So then we ended up going back to Magic Kingdom, and I got to see my Christmas lights and all that stuff that I wanted to see. And like he said, let's go back to food for a second. We stopped at the confectionery on the way out,
which had a pretty good wait to get in there. And then once you got in there was a wait in line to get to the counter where you could order the sweets out of the counter. Something we did not know though is that cast member came up and said, "Would you like to get in line, or you can just go to the register and they have all the snacks behind the register already pre-wrapped and ready to go." And we just did that rather than wait another 20 minutes.
Yeah, so you could stand in the line so that you can get the full experience of looking into the glass case. Or you could just go, if you know what you want, you could go right there and get what you wanted. What did you get?
They had some of them up on the display ring. See, I didn't realize that's what I thought it was a Rice Krispie treat, but it was a marshmallow covered in chocolate with peppermint.
Oh yeah, because you were bummed because it wasn't a Rice Krispie treat.
And then I did get a Rice Krispie. It was supposed to look like pecan pie.
But it
was all Rice Krispie. So it was a Rice Krispie crust in one color. Then it was.
It tasted like pecans though, and it looked like pie.
Yeah.
But it was a Rice Krispie.
It was kind of cool.
And when you opened the box, you could smell it. Smelled like pecan pie.
It was pretty cool.
And I got a cookie because at that point, who cares? And
so
then,
I think we got 4 things.
I got 1. Did you get extra things?
No, I bought 2.
Well, anyway, so we took the boat back to Wilderness Lodge, and so did you guys ever had their magic bars there?
That's where her other treat came from. That's really cool.
Okay, so the magic bars, for those that don't know.
Miss, I only got 1 treat.
I only got 1 at the confectionery, which is true.
The size of a window.
A cheat window. So the magic bars are like this big, and it's a cookie bar, and it has chocolate chips, it has coconut, it has butterscotch, it has all this yummy goodness in a bar. I haven't had one of those in forever. And I think I took the first bite, and I think I squealed a little bit like, oh, this is so good. When you deprive yourself of sweets for months and then you can have said sweets, it's outstanding. But if it is one of your favorite treats that you haven't had in like years, it's even better.
I haven't made them in years.
So, but we'll get back to that. But he actually made some for home, and I ate almost all of them. So anyway, so we had like the magic bars at Wilderness Lodge. And
whose were better, Disney's or mine?
Yours. And the only reason is because I think you put more butterscotch chips in them.
And more love.
That too. Even though you did burn the first batch.
I used I didn't really burn it. I grabbed the wrong thing, the wrong ingredient.
It didn't come out. We couldn't salvage them.
So I went and bought new stuff and made it, and it came out perfect.
So after a whole day of eating bad things and we did have a good time walking around. Mm-hmm. So the next morning we actually, because if you stay on property, you can get into a park. So we went over to Hollywood Studios just to kind of do a lap around.
I said I'm going to wake up at 7 and try to get a pass for a ride. 7 o'clock came and went, and I was still not awake. And then we went over there. Of course, we didn't ride anything. I don't think while we were there.
We didn't. Okay, so Hollywood Studios on the 23rd was packed. So like when you're walking, and we got there around 11 o'clock, and we didn't have to wait at Starbucks for a coffee, which surprised me. And we're like, oh, maybe it's not so bad, because usually Starbucks has a line out the door in every park. So we go towards the Chinese Theater and make a right, to go towards Toy Story Land. And there was a cast member with a sign.
Before you get to Walt Disney.
Formerly One Man's Dream, you know where I'm talking about. By the Little Mermaid ride over there, that was the end of the line for Slinky Dog Dash. Now, if you recall, Slinky Dog Dash, it is way in the back of Toy Story Land.
Way down in many different ways. And as you're walking that way, you remember Pixar Place that used to be open.
Yes.
It's been closed. They've had the doors
closed.
They
did the Incredibles thing there.
Yeah, the Incredible Dance
for a little while.
Thing there. They actually had those doors open because the line for Toy Story Midway Mania was going on that way.
Yeah, so the lines were long. So we're walking through Toy Story Land, and the line for Slinky Dog Dash, like I said, was way past Walt Disney Presents.
I think I want to say it was 90 minutes. So 90 minutes is about average, just because of the spacing that it was so far back.
It was a really long line. Yeah. And then, so we obviously did not go on anything over there. We were just walking. So we walked past, the big Buzz Lightyear outside of Aliens Rolling Saucers, and then there's another cast member with a sign.
Right as soon as you stepped into Galaxy's Edge.
And you'll never guess what that line was for. Smuggler's Run. And they were all the way through. If you are familiar with Galaxy's Edge, the Millennium Falcon ride is way over in the back. And this line was almost to Buzz Lightyear.
and what was weird is, and it kind of bothered me a little, and I don't know why it bothered me so much, but there was areas where they had the doors open that you normally see in Galaxy's Edge, where it would look like a Star Wars wall or whatever. They had those open to where you were just seeing backstage at Disney, so it kind of ruined it for me a little bit, seeing it like that.
Normally, and that's another thing, normally they don't have any backstage areas showing. They're always really good about keeping up the illusion of, whatever land
you're in. Draping or whatever, just to make it.
And you could see like backstage areas, because what they were having to do is kind of like wind the lines through and make their own lines, I guess you could say.
So they opened up, so there's an area by Kylo's ship, the little shop right there, and then there's a doorway there. That's a big doorway. They had those doors completely open. Well, when you look through that doorway, you see like a cash shed and just normal areas.
They put up like these fake bushes over there, and it kind of didn't cut it but I understand.
I understood why they did it, yeah.
This year or last year is circumstances that, you have to make adjustments for. And, and then, so like you walk past the Millennium Falcon, and you try to go up those stairs where they have like the restaurant. There's a cast member standing on the stairs and telling you to turn around because they're trying to section people out that ordered food outside there. So you had to turn around and walk all the way back where you just came from, go all the way back around again.
It would have been nice to know that 5 minutes earlier.
It would have. That's what I was like. They waited till you started going up the stairs before they told you that you can't go that way. So you had to like totally backtrack everything that you just already saw.
Which was fine.
It was fine. I was trying to walk off those magic bars and that cookie. But yeah, it was very crowded on the 23rd.
Yes.
And then the 24th was Christmas Eve. And if you read any of my Florida Living blogs, then you know that we were not home with family this year. And this was the first year since my birth that I've not been home at Christmas time. So since my birth, I've always been with my family at Christmas. This was the first time ever. So, and I don't know if you gathered this about me. I would get emotional and sad about stuff, and I take everything to heart, and I cry. Well, not so much anymore. I cry when I'm sad about stuff, not when I'm mad. when I'm mad now, I gotten really feisty in the past year. But I was sad about not being able to go home. So we kind of had a deal that, if we could throw some Disney in there, that'd be great. Just to kind of appease me a little bit. So we decided.
I told the boys you are not allowed to say anything negative or you will lose all Christmas presents.
Yeah, so he told the boys that they weren't allowed to give me any crap because Mom's sad at Christmas time. We're going to fix that. So they weren't allowed to give me any fuss whatsoever, and they didn't.
I know, I told him, I said, you will lose a present. I will start with the biggest one first and work my way down. So that way, that morning when you open it, all you're going to have is a body wash, and that's it.
No complaining, no fussing. So what we decided to do was we went to Epcot for Christmas Eve. And we made a reservation at Garden Grill, which is, we had never eaten at Garden Grill before. So, and it's got, like, for those that don't know, it's a family style, and it had, like, the potatoes and turkey and gravy, like a Christmas dinner.
Mac and cheese, bread. It was good. It also had like a chimichurri steak piece with it. It really wasn't bad at all. I just the only part we didn't really like was that the characters, they do come out, but they come out in the second level of the circle, and you don't even realize they're there until they basically walk past you.
You can't see the characters because they're up on a level behind you. So a cast member will come and tell you, "Oh, Mickey's there," and then what he had to do was take his cell phone out, put the phone on reverse to take a selfie with the character that's above you. So, like, I could see, like, Mickey's ears, but we didn't really see Mickey.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I mean, I know they're doing it because they want to do something. They bring the characters in, and I don't know if there's any other way they could do it there. I think that's the whole thing.
I don't know, but the reason that we made it the dinner was to have kind of like a family style dinner, and then my other thought was, well, Festival of the Holidays is going on, and it's the lines are so busy back there to even get anything from the food booths. Well, to my absolute surprise,
in every single country, all I heard was, "I can't believe how dead it is here."
There was nobody at Epcot. Like when
11 countries, 11 times it's not dead.
No, I was going back to Garden Grill for a second.
Okay, go back.
Because when we were at Garden Grill, there was maybe 5 people in there eating, including us.
Yes. It was really
there was nobody there, so our server just had us,
and it wasn't rotating.
And it was not rotating. And then there was the pop-up characters in the back that if they told you they were there, they're there.
And our view was actually the desert of the land ride, the boat ride. That's what we were staring at. Me and Andrew kept saying it was Tatooine with one sun as opposed to 2.
That's true. So my whole point was that Garden Grill was not crowded. And then when we started walking towards World Showcase, I just couldn't believe it. The weather was nice. We got to see the new front of Epcot where they have the new fountain with the big glass pillars or whatever. I don't know what you call those. What do you call those? But they have lights sticking out of them at the top, which is kind of cool. It kind of reminded me of Vegas, but like the Luxor. Not on that level though.
But at nighttime we were actually in the American Pavilion, and if you look across, you can actually see the light beam coming out of the top. It looks like it's just beyond Spaceship Earth, but there's a beam that's going all the way, and you can see that from across the lagoon there. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, but anyway, back to there being nobody there. So we did the land because they have like the Christmas overlay. We did Soarin'. It was walk on Soarin'. Mind you, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Christmas Eve. We were in the perfect spot in Soarin'. I put the video out, but we were center row, second section, center seat.
There was like nobody there, you guys. So then when we, Festival of the Holidays is always jam-packed. And it was not. We walked around. It was almost a little bit, I don't know what the word would be. Surreal, eerie, I don't know. It just, like, there was nobody there. I felt like we rented Epcot to ourselves.
We did. She didn't know it. I splurged.
Yeah, but it was very strange. And then it kind of made me second guess all the stuff we ate at dinner because we really could have eaten the stuff at the food booths and things because there was nobody back there.
And the problem was we were too full from the dinner to eat at the food booths.
I think, they had these weird kind of beignets at this one booth. And I thought it was like a regular beignet, but it was almost like a churro. It was very different.
I didn't get my pastrami sandwich.
You didn't get your pastrami
the whole festival. If you've never had it, make sure you go there next year.
And Andrew got something from the Japan.
Yeah, you got some with noodles and some
Something with
kind
noodles.
of noodles.
So
They even got water.
because he was full. So Epcot on very surprisingly, for Christmas Eve. You know, usually you see the stats and the pictures and everything during Christmas week at the parks, and it's crazy. And
not this year.
No.
And that's what we kept telling the boys. We're like, take this in because it will never be like this again. I mean, with everything getting better,
hopefully,
with the vaccine such going forward, by next year, I'm hoping they can be at a higher capacity even. So it will not be like it was this year. Hopefully never again. I mean, hopefully this will be the slowest Christmas week ever at Disney.
It was just very surprising. But we did enjoy Christmas Eve at Epcot. It was kind of nice to be able to walk around and no crowds.
It was.
And then when we left, so there was a cold front blowing in that night, and it, like, don't laugh, Florida cold front, but it was cold. Like I don't know if you saw, like if you watch any Florida news stations or something like on Facebook, but they kept talking all week long. There was going to be like a 40-degree difference between, the high of the day, and it's true. Yep. I think that day it hit almost 80, and then we woke up to 30 something
by Christmas morning.
In the morning.
Yeah. Santa brought in the cold weather with him.
Yeah, it was cold. So do you want to tell them the snowman story, or should we skip it?
I can tell it. So we get home. Randy knows it because we talked about it. Get home. All our decorations are up in the front yard. It's all nice. Looks very festive. Come in the house, put away our stuff. All of a sudden, I get an alert on my phone, high wind advisory in the area.
It got cold fast.
Good. So I go outside. 10 minutes. It was literally 10 minutes. I go back outside. The temperature had dropped at least 15 to 20 degrees.
Just that 10 minutes.
And you can hear me on our Ring doorbell alarm. I walk out there and I go, someone stole my snowman. My snowman was gone. Now, it's just not a small snowman. It's an 8-foot blow up I've had that's been hooked to the ground and just
It was a big snowman head, like an 8-foot snowman head.
And she took a picture as we were walking up. Just had to take a picture that day. And then 10 minutes later, it was gone. I mean, everything ripped out of the ground. The power cable ripped out of the extension cord. And it was just gone. Nowhere to be seen. I searched our neighborhood. I drove around the neighborhood for like 2 days afterwards looking to see if any of my neighbors put it up. Because if they did, I was going to rip it out of their yard right back home.
How did the snowman disappear in like a matter of seconds? But
my 3-foot baby Grogu was still there.
Yoda was there. So we pulled that one in. But the weather had taken such a turn. Like we got home just at the perfect time. But yeah, our big snowman, poof, gone. Everything was gone. We still don't know. And it was really cute too.
All I know is it's going to appear in somebody's neighborhood or somebody's yard next.
That's what I said. If we see it in somebody else's yard, we know who took our snowman.
Where'd you get that snowman?
Exactly.
It wasn't a Christmas present.
No. And it was kind of a bummer because like it's not only did the temperatures drop, it started to rain, and it was that cold rain. Yeah. We just kind of gave up. And then the next day we were looking around, and it's a mystery.
And it's funny because we live at the back of our community, so there's a fence behind us that leads to a community behind us, but I don't think it would have blown over the fence. We're in the corner almost, so we have the pond where the gators are over here, and I didn't see anything over there floating because you would have seen it in the water. It just disappeared. The wind would have taken it that way, but it was nowhere to be found that way.
Yeah, so it was a very weird Christmas Eve. We're outside looking for the snowman.
It was just weird that everything was gone. The cords that held it to the ground, the power cable.
Somebody could have taken it, maybe.
And then they blamed the wind for it.
Blamed the wind. But
it was that Jack Frost.
It was just strange. But yeah, so Epcot was good though. And then the next day we had Christmas at home, of course, and it was just different. I think, but everything was different this year. But different isn't always bad.
No.
I mean, we had plenty of baked goods in the house. I ate all day. We didn't really do anything Christmas Day. We just sat around and ate.
Watched Christmas movies.
Watched Christmas movies and ate and ate and ate.
And then ate some more. My boys were excited because they got their presents because they didn't lose their big presents because they did behave. They didn't get just body wash on Christmas Day.
No, they didn't get an Axe body kit.
I was going to Dollar Tree and get that brand. They were ruined. That's all they would have got.
But yeah, it was good. I mean, of course, I miss my family. I'm hoping that I will be able to see them at some point soon. But we did make the best of it.
We did. I thought it was great. Everything worked out really well. It was a fun Christmas day. It was our first Christmas we've ever actually celebrated in Florida on Christmas Day, which is something the boys and I had wanted to do since we moved into this house. It'll be 3 years now. We really wanted to celebrate Christmas in our house. So we even though COVID forced us to stay home, we got to celebrate Christmas in our house, which was great.
I was the holdout. I was the one who was really torn about what to do. But things just aren't good in our home state right now. So it was just the most logical thing to do.
The problem is that in Michigan, there's not a lot to do besides eating and shopping, and we don't like to sit home. We're always on the go. So to go to Michigan where you can't go out to eat,
you can't do anything.
You can't really do anything right now. We would have been scratching at the walls to get out of there.
And the boys would have been bored.
Yeah. So it probably worked out for the best.
So we'll wait till things are better and then maybe go visit. But all in all, it was pretty good.
It was. And then we had New Year's the next week.
Yeah. So I'm checking my notes.
Where are you at?
Where am I at? Okay. Check. Okay. So we went. Okay. So Corey and Corey Tucker.
He's on.
Infamous Corey Tucker and his saintly wife Lucretia. They were in town.
She's a saint. I'm gonna have little statues made of her and put them on everybody's dashboard.
We need to have Lucretia statues on our
Putting up with him. She has to be a saint.
They were in town and we met them the day before New Year's Eve.
We met them on
that Wednesday at Magic Kingdom.
Yes, because Tuesday Corey was at Disney Springs.
Yes, we'll talk about that.
Was that one of the only places? I think it was the only place they went on Tuesday.
But we went to Magic Kingdom that Wednesday, and let's think back to typical Christmas week at Disney parks. Usually around this time, you're seeing wall-to-wall people, and they're turning people away. It's at capacity. It's this and that. So we went to Magic Kingdom, and it was not bad.
It was weird because this was the first year we didn't have to worry about getting out the parks at capacity.
Yeah, usually we, I'm waiting for like capacity things to hit and news. There's always news that week that, they're only letting in
or resort
guests
premium
or
plus pass.
Yeah, it's different because usually it's just a hot mess that week. And when we went over to Magic Kingdom, it wasn't bad at all. There was no, driving up to the park, there was no wait to get into the turnstiles. There was just no wait at all. I think we
waited longer to get our lunch at Pecos Bills than we did anything.
We did. That's just so funny because that's where the biggest crowds were at, was to get your food, because you have to do mobile order, which I love mobile order.
Mobile order is the best way to go.
But yeah, so we waited for food, but we went on Haunted Mansion, and I say we waited in Pirates. We waited maybe 20?
It was half of what it was posted, pretty much. Half, a little bit more than half that. It was great, actually, but lines moved fast. There was no problems. No, it was really nice, but not what we were there Christmas Eve. Was it last year? We were at Epcot last year for Christmas Eve.
New Year's Eve,
sorry. And then we were at the Magic Kingdom the year before for New Year's Eve. And
just a whole different experience.
Nothing like they were this past one.
Yeah. So, big difference.
It was still fun. It was still great to hang out with Corey and make fun of him all day and go on some rides.
So for New Year's Eve though, usually
he said saintly question mark.
She is. Your wife is a saint. What's up with you? So, speaking of Corey, the next day was New Year's Eve, and Corey had decided that, we should totally have something here.
Now, granted, he planned this in March.
Not knowing
everything was going to be going on. And he's like, I think we should have New Year's Eve at your house.
Well, because the parks weren't doing their usual, so we rang in the New Year with Corey and Lucretia last year at Epcot. Now, and that was crazy because they had dance parties in the different countries. They had their fireworks.
It was a rave in Italy.
Oh God, Italy was awesome. It was you needed glow sticks and all that.
And then Elliot had the silent dance party.
They had silent DJ or silent dance party, whatever you call it.
Which Thursday he had surgery today.
Yes.
Hip replacement, and from what I heard, he's doing well. So.
Yes. So anyway, it was just very different, and they weren't going to be doing any of that on property this year.
Mm-hmm.
So and actually they weren't even staying open until midnight.
No, they were all closing which I'm guessing they just didn't want people gathering in any area at midnight, which would be the reason I think.
Yeah, it definitely was not.
And I told Corey, I said, if this year ends up like last year, I will never spend New Year's Eve again with him. Because last year I spent it with him, it was bad 2020. If 2021 turns out that way, first you can blame Corey Tucker.
So you're saying it's his fault that this year was crap?
Because we were together, and the worlds could not have the two of us together bringing in the new year. I don't know what it was.
But it was quiet.
Just FYI, there were no raves at the Atlas.
There was no raves at our house. But like the kids played like this board game, and we sat around and talked and ate. And ate, and then ate some more.
That 2-week window was.
My cheat window was really I took advantage of the cheat window. I had so much sweets and things.
And if you order popcorn chicken from Publix, make sure you order the right size. We still got it.
We have enough popcorn chicken to feed the whole neighborhood. But anyway, so
I'm gonna offer it up for my Frosty return.
If you give us our snowman back, we'll give you a whole platter of chicken.
I can throw some snacks in there.
So we ended up putting on TV and watched a little bit because you watch Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, whatever, and it was just a mess because there was no crowds. The entertainment was a little weird.
A little.
It was so weird. Did you guys watch it? Like usually you see all the confetti in New York and all the celebrating, and it was just.
I just think it's funny. Planet Fitness is the sponsor. Of New Year's, right? Because that's when everybody's making their New Year's resolutions. I'm gonna lose weight this year. Planet Fitness. I keep calling it Planet Fitness. I don't know why. Planet Fitness. I'm like, that is so smart of them to put their name everywhere. So when you're thinking about your resolution, you know where I'm gonna go.
And
Planet Fitness.
And even did you notice on the ball drop this year, it was all advertisement. Like you had to look past like 3 ads to actually see the ball. And one of those ads is Planet Fitness. So I don't know if it's subliminal, like it's a new year, get your butt to the gym.
Oh yeah, because every commercial break was a Planet Fitness commercial. It's free till the 7th. This part was not sponsored by Planet Fitness in any possible way.
Robert Carlson, I stole your snowman. I'll be back for the chicken. Make sure it's fresh.
I want it by 8 o'clock. You got 23 minutes to get here.
We need our snowman back.
I'll put the chicken in the air fryer to be nice and warm by the time you get here.
I think we even have some snacks left over, like sweets wise. So
all kinds of stuff. Whatever you want, Robert. You bring back my snowman, we're good.
So I
should have went to Walmart the day after Christmas. Probably could have got them for half off.
What?
The new snowman. I didn't think about that.
Opportunity. So I was talking to my parents to ask them if it was like that where they are, but at midnight, actually before, but midnight, it was the craziest thing. We took the kids out in front of the house, and there was so many fireworks going on.
It was 360 fireworks in our
neighborhood. It was 360 fireworks. They were everywhere. It was like we obviously were home for 4th of July this past year. It was more.
And Corey was here then too.
And Corey was there then too. But anyway, so it was more so than the 4th of July. I've never seen so many fireworks. When we went to bed at 2:30, they were still going off. And before we went back in the house with the kids, my one son said, it looks smoky in our neighborhood. I mean, it looked like there was a fog over the whole neighborhood.
We had somebody behind us lighting them off. Somebody 2 doors down was somebody in that direction, and somebody in that direction. So it was everywhere. It was 360. Wherever you looked, you saw fireworks going off around our house, which was kind of cool.
But I saw on Facebook that a lot of communities did that, not just here.
Yeah.
But I asked my mom, did they do that in Michigan? Like, no, they weren't celebrating Michigan.
They weren't bad by 10:30.
And I don't know. I'm wondering if it's partially because our town, in the Orlando area, always has all the parks do fireworks. They all do parties. And this year there was nothing. So I don't know if people were trying to make their own type of thing.
I know Corey wanted to hire a DJ. He was going to bring Little Tic Tac. Tic Tac, whatever his name was.
We went to Sam's Club that day, and I should have noticed there was something because like when you walked in, there was all the diet food on this side, and then this side was like cake and fireworks. And I'm like,
not in the same box.
What's filled with the fireworks.
Yeah, they were everywhere.
They were everywhere, and it was just absolutely.
It looked like 4th of July at Sam's Club with the amount of fireworks they had.
It did.
It was kind of crazy.
So I don't know if that was a Florida thing or what, but there was a whole lot of fireworks.
Randy just said right. People wanted to make sure 2020 got blown out.
Yeah, blown out. And you know the thing is that that's what I was thinking. Like, is it because everybody was just so happy to get rid of 2020? And you know, it's not like you wake up the next morning and everything is changed. You know, that's the thing.
All it didn't change was the date on the check.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't change anything, but I think it was very symbolic that this 2020 was such a dumpster fire and people were excited to get rid of it.
Well, because 2020 is officially over, and that's when everything started. That's where hopefully everything peaked, and now we should be on the downward.
Not good.
Eventually, the downward path to better times again.
Upwards, maybe.
Yeah. Just gonna take time.
It is.
It'll take time.
So, but speaking of parks and capacity and all that good stuff, so interesting enough, Universal, we had planned on to go to Universal to see their Christmas stuff, and we never made it because Universal hit capacity every day and early, and so every time we tried to, you know, oh, you want to go to Universal, you know, the whole Christmas break, so we never made it over there.
No, we kept saying, oh, we'll go this afternoon, and it would have just reopened or whatever. I'm like, well, do we really want to go? Because what if we get there and it hits capacity again? Or
see, that's the thing. So how they run it, I don't know, is like, so the one morning they were at capacity like by 9 o'clock in the morning.
8:15 the day Chuck was there.
Yes.
Yep.
And then they'll say, well, we're going to open it. We'll let people know when they can start letting people in. Now we're across town. By the time we would drive over there, it's a possibility that by the time we got there, they could be at capacity again.
Exactly.
Because of the crowds. It was just crazy.
Yeah, you almost had to be at City Walk eating when they were open to guarantee you get in, because who knows if we would have or not. But they had a display where they took you in the back. If you've ever been there for Halloween Horror Nights, you go backstage into some of the different warehouses. And from what we were told, they had a warehouse set up of past Christmas displays from the Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, the big Thanksgiving floats.
Yeah, they bring the floats, the balloons and such, and they had them in their warehouses. And you could actually tour that. And that was the main reason we wanted to go. We knew looking at times we were not going to ride anything. Fast and the Furious had a 3-hour virtual wait. So there was just no way we were going to ride anything.
He's like, if Fast and the Furious has that kind of a wait, because it's a joke around here that that's a terrible ride. So, a lot of out-of-towners, maybe they would like it, but it was a very long wait. So we never got to go to Universal. So instead of Disney hitting capacity, no, we still haven't.
We need to.
It was Universal that hit capacity this year, not Disney. Just FYI. And what's next? Okay. So during Christmas week, Gideon's Bakehouse did a soft opening, and for those of you who are unaware, it is kind of like a steampunk-looking cookie place.
That their cookies have, if you remember the whole thing a long time ago, chips, I bet you can't bite a chip. Gideon's takes that up the notch like 10,000 times, because their stuff is so packed with chips or nuts or whatever they put into that one. They're huge. They're half-pound cookies. You're limited when they open. You're limited to 6 per person. You can order ahead. At their one, they actually have a building in town somewhere. They're actually
it's in Orlando.
And then they opened up an extension one at Disney Springs. It's right across or next to Wine Bar George, right? Or
across from Wine Bar George, by the Hangar Bar.
On the other side of Morimoto. Kinda. Morimoto would be on that side. Gideon's is on the corner.
It's behind Morimoto.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, so it's kind of like where Wine Bar George is.
On that corner right there.
Anyway, so they did a soft opening, and they were doing a virtual line. The virtual line most days was a 3-hour wait to get cookies. But the good thing was that you could, go shop or whatever. I know Disney Springs did hit capacity at some point, but the parks did not. But yeah, 3-hour wait to get some cookies. Now you're probably wondering why. I mean, they are really good cookies.
The Polite Pig used to sell them for them. They sold
on the counter, just the chocolate chip.
Yeah, just the chocolate chip. They were $8 a piece when Polite Pig sold them. And they would get 2 deliveries a day. One was when they opened at 10. The second one was at 2 o'clock, I think. And they sold out within minutes of every time, just because that's how good these cookies are. People actually wait for them. So everybody was excited when they were going to open their own shop because they would have their variety of cookies, which they have just a handful of them, don't they?
Yeah.
But then they have cake.
They have cakes there too, and they have this cold brew that everybody like waits for as well. But the cookies they have one that's exclusive to Disney Springs. It's a coffee cake cookie. Mm-hmm. Corey said they had a Krampus cookie, which was like all chocolate with like mint on the top.
And he said it was really good.
But they have all these different cookies. So Saturday night, actually Saturday afternoon, Gideon's put out an announcement that they were closing again, and everybody lost their minds because people have been waiting all week for 3 hours for these cookies, and then they were closing. So from what I gathered, it's because during the soft opening, they were just trying to get their bearings and figure everything out, and that they're going to actually have a grand opening, like reopening, I guess.
And it was actually a really good test as far as crowd goes for them to see how they could handle it.
Because it's a small establishment. It's not big. And I think that that's part of the 3 hour window to come back and get your cookies. I would not, truth be told, I mean, I love junk food. I ate my weight in cookies in the past 2 weeks, probably more. But I would not stand outside a building for 3 hours to get a cookie. Virtual line, I would. If I could go shop, walk around, do whatever, and then come back, I don't have a problem with that. But actually standing outside. And then Corey had said that when they got the text that it was their turn in the virtual queue, I think he said they still waited another like 20 minutes. So that's a long time to wait. You have to really want one of those cookies. But they are good.
They are good though.
And they're heavy. I mean, they are heavy.
Yeah, they are a half-pound cookie. They are not a cookie you should.
And they're enough to share. If you cut them up, or when we used to get them from the Polite Pig, we would get one and then we would just break pieces of it for the next couple of days because they were so big.
What I'm thinking is once they open, we'll probably have to go down there and do a live feed from it and show people what it's all about. And then we'll have to sample every cookie while we're there.
I'm gonna need another cheat window.
Your birthday's in a month and a half. So
it is. I think that'll be my next cheat window, but that'll be like a day, maybe 2. Now I'm thinking about cookies. I'm hungry.
Her birthday's the day before Valentine's Day, so it's a guaranteed 2 days of cheat.
It's a little cheat window.
It's a small, like bathroom size window.
So yeah, all in all, the holidays at Disney were not crazy. Everything seemed to go okay. I think it went as well as it could have.
I hadn't heard any negativity about it all.
No.
They did it well. Again, Disney's through this whole thing since they reopened Walt Disney World, they've done it well. The enhancements they've made that will help once things do get back to normal, like the security check now, is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how fast that came out of necessity, that they just needed to figure out a way to do it faster where they weren't touching people's things, and they did, and they figured it out, and it's great. But metal detectors now to walk through.
Yeah, you walk right through. So for those of you that haven't been back to the parks, they have these high-tech metal detectors now. It's where you used to stand in those lines, and the security would take the line and go through all your bags. Well, now you walk right through, and they have it's like at the airport. There's a screen, and if they see something, then they go through your stuff.
They pull you to the side.
But they watch. It's so much quicker and more efficient the way that they're doing it now. And I think, to me, I feel a little bit safer because...
I do. The Springs was always one that we worried about because there was no security check at the Springs, and now there is.
Now there is. So. I just think because of everything that's happened in the past year, they've made changes that were for the better overall.
They did. They are much better for overall. Disneyland was already that way. Disneyland was very safe as far as security checks and stuff like that. And it's sad that we live in a world where we have to worry about that, but we do. Yeah. And now it's wonderful to see Walt Disney World has finally matched it with Disney Springs being just like that.
And I think that's important. It's a pain to have to wind through the garage like that, but it's for your own good and your own safety.
If it's for my safety, I will spend the extra few minutes to wait in line to know that I'm safer going in there. They can't guarantee 100%.
Of course not.
It really helps tremendously what they've done, and I applaud them for what they've done.
And the thing is, I'm just going to say one thing before we switch topics because we're going to be wrapping up. So, everybody has their opinions, and there's been plenty of them online. And as far as Disney's rules and people trying to get around said rules, and especially when it comes to masks. And the time that we spent on Disney property over the holidays, cast members were very efficient. We were walking into Magic Kingdom the one day, and they have security before you even go, or a cast member directing where to go before you even get to the temperature checks. And people are trying to get past them with no mask on. And the one person that we saw, they had a kid in a stroller. Now this child was probably 4 or 5. I mean, let's just be honest. And didn't have a mask on. And the cast member said very nicely, how old is your child? Because they need to put a mask on. And the lady looks at him and says 2. And I think she thought it was 2 and under, didn't have to wear a mask. And he's like, oh, 2, okay, well then she needs to put a mask on. Well, no, she's 2. And then the arguing had started. Well, the cast member 1, the child put a mask on because they're not making any exceptions. You know, if you want to go to the parks right now, you have to do what they're asking. And I feel sorry for these cast members because they're not making the rules. They're trying to enforce it so that everybody can have a good day. And you'd be surprised how many people were trying to get away with not following the rules.
Yeah, it's crazy how many people are just, and I told Michelle before, it's that entitled, I'm going to do what I want. I don't care.
Do you know how much I paid to come here? Well, we all paid.
We all paid to come here.
Sorry.
But we all want to be safe. And Disney is not it's a privilege to be able to go to Disney.
It's a privilege, not a right.
They purchase that, it's not a right. And Disney does have the right to tell us we have to wear masks, that you have to do this.
And they will tell you on the loudspeaker. I mean, they're blunt and plain as day. You follow the rules or we will ask you to leave. They're not kidding.
And a lot of people, Disney of old, before all this happened, Disney would always, okay, well, you shouldn't do that, but okay. Because Disney never wanted to
tell. Because they were trying to keep guests happy.
Never tell a guest no. Never tell a guest they have to do something. But I think for the safety of the 99.9% of the people who do obey the rules, Disney had to kind of get a little tough, and people don't like that. But you know what? I don't have a problem with that. Again, it's our safety of everybody, and you don't know that person walking next to you what they've been through. You don't know if they flew on an airplane with somebody who's sitting next to them that got on that plane that maybe had the virus and they passed it to them, and now they've coughed on you and now you've got it. You don't know that. And with Disney doing these little things, it helps us protect us all. And that's what you have to look at. You have to look at your safety, your family's safety. When we go, the boys have hand sanitizer. Michelle has hand sanitizer.
I did that before all this.
She did that before.
I'm a germaphobe.
Now she just carries 5 people with her. But we're always prepared. We always take the precautions you have to take. And for the good of everybody, is it really that bad of a thing? You know?
Here's the way I look at it. Do you remember March, April, May, where we weren't allowed to go anywhere? At least we do have some freedoms to where we can do some of the things we enjoy. We just have to adapt to what the current situation is. And I commend cast members for having to deal with so much because
they do not get paid enough.
No, they deserve so much more credit because just a little bit that we were there every time somebody is arguing about the rules and why
or cutting in line or
there was a lot of that too.
A lot of cutting in line.
A lot of line cutters.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad.
I tell you what though, it's funny you know, you can make me wear a mask, but I'm gonna go cut in line. It's like they just really wanted to do what they wanted to do. And it's funny because we were in line for a Haunted Mansion, and you know, you still have to distance, right? So like we were with Corey and Lucretia, and like our kids were together and we were together, but we were one group, but we were spaced out a little bit. So I turn around, I was talking to somebody, and I turn around to say something to my sons, and there's different people there. And I was like, what? Like, where are the boys? So I look around these people, and my kids are so polite because they know they better be, or I don't care if they're taller than me, they best be. So I look and I'm like, what happened? So my older son says, oh, excuse me, that's my mom. over there. We were together, and the guy said something to him like, "Oh, we didn't cut in line," and he.
You said you did, but you just admitted it.
And so what? And Andrew was just like, "Okay, well, I just want to be with my family." So the guy's like, "Oh yeah." So he let us go in front of him. Well, then the people behind me called him to the carpet because they did cut in line, and a cast member made them go to the back of the line. But they tried it. I mean, and it was just like, come on, you guys, like. It really wasn't that big of a deal to just do what you're supposed to do. And these cast members are doing their very best to keep order and to make sure that people have a good time. And it's it was interesting. But for the most part, everything was good.
No, it was great. It was great. And I don't have a problem with everybody hand sanitizing now too, because I've seen too many people walk out of bathrooms without washing their hands. So at least I know there's some kind of sanitizer going on there.
I've always been that person that, like, we talked about this in TMSM Fan Nation a couple of years ago. Like, I will bring my hand sanitizer in the bathroom stall, and I clean the whole flipping thing. I do.
I think it should work that when you walk out, just the way they flush or whatever, when you walk out, there should be like something that just sends a mist over everything that will dry within seconds.
So that was because I told somebody, if you ever go into a stall at Disney and it smells like Bath and Body Works,
that's Michelle.
I was there cleaning it for you, so you're welcome. So we're going to be wrapping up. But I wanted to mention one more thing, and then we're done. So today, a couple hours ago, I put out the new Stitch Crashes Disney collectible line that is going to be monthly this year.
Like the Minnie Mouse one from last year.
The Minnie Mouse one that caused the frenzy and caused them to have merch pass on Shop Disney. You know the one.
So it worked so well last year, let's do it again with another character.
So now what that's going to be, if you did not see that article, is they are doing a themed Stitch every month. And like the first month is Beauty and the Beast themed. And I guess there's going to be pins and t-shirts and like a line that goes with just that month.
So eBayers, get ready.
Yeah, eBayers, get ready. You get another year of this.
I'm making a fortune off people who can't get there.
Yeah, so there's going to be merch pass. So you can double check my article, but I want to say merch pass is the 12th. And then it's hit or miss if you actually get chosen for a merch pass. Mm-hmm. But it's Stitch is going to have a different movie theme, and they put out a teaser that February's theme is Lady and the Tramp.
That makes sense.
But they didn't say what it's going to look like. But
but that makes sense because that is the movie.
I love Lady and the Tramp.
It goes with Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so the frenzy continues. Now there's another collectible thing a month that everybody can fight about.
So excited.
And you really do get caught up in that sort of thing. I mean, when you when you find out that something is limited edition and you might not be able to get it or whatever, then you want it, even if you really don't, but you just want it because. So
anytime we release something that Lost Princess Carol, it's a limited edition.
It's a limited edition. But so yeah, I'm sitting there putting this article together, and I'm like, am I gonna collect Stitches now?
That's funny. Jessica says that Stitch will crash the site again. Don't they use Stitch when the site crashes?
Yes.
Then you cause mischief and cause the
yes.
site. So it's funny that they chose Stitch to be the one that his line is going to be officially crashing the site now when it happens on
Lord help us all. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I haven't decided if I want one yet, but I feel like peer pressure, and I'm just gonna need to get one.
Where are you gonna put it? You have all the Minnie Mouse dolls in a bag because you have no place to put them.
That does not matter. I wouldn't talk Mr. Pop vinyls.
They're all on shelves and they look really organized and well. And one room in the house is upstairs.
But yeah.
Corey and Stellan love my collection.
Well, I'm glad somebody does because it's just way too much for one house. It's way too much.
I'm approaching 700.
Yeah, because somebody needs that.
I'm trying to beat that guy with 3,000.
Oh, God. We're going to need a bigger house.
That's fine.
So anyway, yeah, 12.
Corey said you can put him in the pop room. It's been renamed.
It was supposed to be the office.
Well, we don't use it. It was our studio for a while there.
So speaking of Lost Princess apparel, we will have some new things coming out
this week.
You won't want to miss that.
Hey, Shane's finally on.
Hey, Shane.
Welcome home. Finally.
So we have a shopping group for Lost Princess apparel if you would like to join it because that's fun. And we also have a TMSM weight loss support group that just started up again. It's kind of been dormant because nobody cared about dieting for the past year, but it's starting up again. So if you want, like, weight loss support and a place to, talk about the struggles and the tips and everything for weight loss, it's TMSM weight loss support group. Feel free to join.
One thing I was going to mention is that last month and a half ago, we started sending out the Main Street Mouse newsletter again. Sean's been doing that. On Sundays, it goes out. If you haven't signed up, the emails of the past, we had a hard time importing them all and verifying them all, so we kind of started a brand new email list. Yeah. So if you go to the site, there is an email newsletter sign up on the toolbar, and I believe there's another one on the right sidebar. There a place or in the bottom? I don't know. There's a couple places on there to sign up for the newsletter. So if you wanted to sign up for that, right now it's only going out on Sundays. We're just kind of doing did you see articles from the past week.
Because Facebook isn't showing the posts, so this way you get a recap of all our blogs of the week.
Yeah, we're trying to put the top 5 or 6, whatever comes out. And then if major breaking news happens, we're going to have the ability to send out an email alert to everybody because, like she said, Facebook is really about 2 to 3% of the people who like our Facebook page actually see our Facebook posts. Which when you have 400,000 followers, that's really, over 400,000, that's really a small number of the total.
Very frustrating.
It's very frustrating. So if you sign up for the email alert, those go out to all the valid emails. You just have to confirm your email address. You'll get an email back when you sign up just to confirm it, and then you'll get our emails when we send them out weekly. And you can unsubscribe at any time. It doesn't cost you anything. Just something we've started doing again to keep you guys informed.
Yeah, we try our best. I know this year has not been, last year, all a bunch of good news, so hopefully you want to stay tuned to what we put out because hopefully the news gets better.
I think it will. I was reading something today. They're starting to put their focus towards the 50th, which is later this year.
Oh yeah.
For Walt Disney World, so you're going to start seeing a lot of things, I think, getting ready and geared up for that.
I hope so.
I was also reading an article that Josh Damaro was speaking about how Disneyland is ready once they can reopen with Avengers Campus and ready to roll forward with it. So exciting times. Hopefully the vaccine gets out, travel gets going again. Speaking of travel, don't forget about MEI Mouse Fan Travel and Becky and her team. You can find their links on our site. They will help you out, as well as Kingdom Strollers, who's our stroller sponsor that can help you out if you come to Florida and you need a stroller rental. They will help you out with that. So those are our 2 sponsors. You can find all their links and such on the site, and they'll help you out.
And please, again, even though the holidays are over, small businesses really need your support. And we are a small business, and word of mouth helps us so much. So if you already have all our clothing, maybe tell a friend or 2. Lost Princess Apparel is pretty cool, and we got more great stuff coming.
Or if they love Disney, just get them to watch watch our Main Street Mouse pages and stuff.
Yeah, Main Street Mouse pages, because we work hard every day to make sure we put out content. If there is no news, I find something to share with you, whether it's a video, a recipe, a craft, shopping stuff, whatever. So every day I'm making sure to put stuff out for you guys. So word of mouth helps us. So I really appreciate you guys supporting us and telling people about us.
And for those, we do have some men's things getting ready to hit Lost Princess Apparel here in the next couple weeks. So just keep your eyes focused on that. They're actually like a hockey jersey style that created with help of a few people, and those are going to be coming out. And they're so far we got 3 prints that'll be coming in the next week or so.
So you got to stay tuned for that.
Yep, there'll be 3 different designs. You've seen one of them with the tangled one I've worn. Corey's worn it. Who else has worn it? Ronnie's worn it. So those are going to be coming out very soon, and we'll have those available. And women can wear them as well, but it's finally something that men will wear as well.
Men's line, that's good. I know you guys have been waiting, so men's hockey jerseys will be coming.
Scott has some jerseys for sale, like LPA. I will have jerseys. That's what I was just saying, Jessica. Thank you for asking. Yeah, those are coming. There's going to be 3 of them. They are supposed to be here, I think, within the next week to 10 days. And once I get them, we will get pictures and get them up. There's the first 3, but I have probably another 15 ready to go to print. I just want to see how these first ones do so I can adjust and figure out what sizes and such we need.
Yes. So stay tuned because a lot of good things are coming. And none of the things that we do would be possible if it wasn't for you all. So thank you so much. And thank you for supporting us. And 2020, it's been really difficult, but we made it through with your help, and you guys are always a blessing to us, and we truly appreciate your love and support. And I guess that's it for today.
TMSM radio is going to be getting better, so stay tuned for that.
He's working on the radio station.
Radio station, something new is about to happen with that. I'm also working on something else, hopefully for September's time frame, so we shall see. Lots of stuff happening.
Stay tuned.
No wonder I don't sleep.
Right. We always got something wrong. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we appreciate you spending an hour with us.
Yes, we do.
And please take care, and we will see you real soon.
Take care, everybody. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.